This time last year, Filthy Frank clones were one of the hottest topics on YouTube. TV Filthy Frank 2's meteoric rise and instant success meant everyone had their own opinion on Eli's depiction of Filthy Frank. Was it enjoyable to watch? Was it a good imitation? Was it okay to do this? Everyone uploaded videos expressing their own opinions, including myself. That video is still my most viewed video to this day. Not only did it cover TV Filthy Frank 2, but it also featured other channels within the Filthy Frank clone community. Since then, a lot has changed for these 5 channels, and all of them have progressed in some manner. So today we'll be taking a look at all of the 5 clones featured, as well as an extra clone I'd like to discuss, and seeing what exactly happened to them over the last year. We'll start with Filthy Frank 2, now known as TV Filthy Frank 2.0. While I didn't really consider him worth discussing at the time, I do think he's improved significantly since then. His videos have a more interesting aesthetic and are filmed at a much higher quality. For example, in the video The New Chin Chin, colour is used to portray mood and convey character traits. This isn't groundbreaking in the world of film, but it goes above and beyond what most of the other clones are doing. Equally, the quality of the stories and what's being portrayed has improved too, although that's more due to how lackluster his early work was. It appears the channel is still going, although his upload schedule is quite infrequent. What's quite surprising is that he also runs a couple of other channels. This includes JD Moreno, which reviews shoes and has been abandoned for some time now, as well as Toy Chest, which will review Star Wars figures and collectibles. Toy Chest is brand new and therefore only has one video. It's serviceable, and there's nothing really inherently wrong with it, but to see someone go from running around as Pink Guy to do very serious figurine reviews is a little jarring. Regardless, if you're a fan of Star Wars figures, this is a channel probably worth subscribing to. Next we'll look at Lotus. At the time of my original video, I thought Lotus lacked slightly in the humour and production department, but made up for this by having a bit more originality when compared to the other clones, due in part to Lotus not being a clone herself, but just using the Filthy Frank IP. Currently Lotus sits at around 30k subscribers, and not a whole lot has changed for Lotus. In terms of her content, it has changed a small amount, and the channel feels less and less like a channel using the Filthy Frank IP. Videos now focus even more on satirical rants over the lore-driven videos like The Prophecy. For example, in her fake activist video, she mentions that if you drink water, you support Hitler. Extreme hyperbole statements like this emphasise the fact that her videos are satirical, and not to be taken seriously. That's why I've always been a little disappointed about how her TV Filthy Frank 2 rant got absolutely destroyed. Not long after my original video, Lotus uploaded her rant video, and it got panned by TV Filthy Frank 2 fans, and also William Mac viewers who saw his video about the rant. One of the rant's main criticisms was that it wasn't funny, which I think is fair enough. In that department, it did struggle compared to other work, and it also lacked a bit of self-awareness. However, people also hated this video due to how it attacked TV Filthy Frank 2, and I think people missed the point that this was a character-driven video on a character-driven channel. This isn't the creator speaking, this is a character that's supposed to be horrible being horrible. It was common practice for clones to mock other channels during this time. In fact, TV Filthy Frank 2 made a video mocking the other clones and he received no hate. This was probably because it was funnier. Because of this, I feel like some of the hate Lotus got was a little hypocritical, and she didn't deserve to get quite as much hate as she did. If you go to the video now, there is a mature response from Lotus that she posted recently, which shows that even she doesn't like the video anymore. However, despite this, her channel has still grown, and she's been able to amass a small cult following who enjoy her content. She's also started a small vlogging channel, which is worth watching if you're a die-hard Lotus fan. Now for what some would consider the weakest of the clones. Neo Filthy Frank. When clones were being discussed, Neo Filthy Frank would only ever be brought up as an example of exactly how not to make clone content. While I would have agreed with that, since then I've delved much deeper into the clone community, and I can tell you that he definitely is not the worst clone out there. One clone made an exposed video about me, and he is definitely the worst clone I've seen. Neo Filthy Frank did continue to make content for a bit despite the hate he received, but eventually abandoned the channel, bowing out with what can only be described as the greatest piece of modern art in YouTube history with a reasonable argument against homosexuality.
Spoon, 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 spoons.
What an absolute masterpiece. From talking to him via Discord, Neo Filthy Frank has told me he's working on a film. I don't know when it will be out or where he's going to put it, but I do know it's not Filthy Frank related. Also, I'm going to be in it. I've done a bunch of voiceover for a film by Neo Filthy Frank. What a time to be alive. TV Filthy Frank 2 is probably the clone you're most familiar with, and I'm sure you've all been dying to hear about him. Eli's depiction of Filthy Frank was the most popular a year ago, and it still is today. Even after a sizable hiatus, TV Filthy Frank 2 is able to pull over 200,000 views per video. At the time I was hoping this hiatus might be due to working on videos on his second channel, which has recently changed names to EGM Sucks. Well, he did just that, releasing footage and music-driven vlogs which I enjoyed. This isn't the only reason for the hiatus though. Eli has expressed creative issues on his Discord, and he's had problems with previous videos too. His video Sex Offender Visit Staples was removed, and then re-uploaded with the changed name 300k subscriber special. It had an entirely different second half to it. He received strikes on his channel due to the video Unoriginal Cake, and his Area 51 raid video was removed by YouTube, presumably for showing hentai. However, he's back now. One interesting aspect of his return is the lack of Joe Films. Joe Films is a YouTuber himself, who creates VFX videos, and you can even see Eli in one of his videos called Mario vs Harry Potter. Joe was instrumental in working on both Help Pink Guy as well as Filthy Frank Reborn, which kickstarted the TV Filthy Frank 2 channel. I'd even say he's responsible for my own personal favourite moment on the channel, which is this beautifully edited ending to Help Pink Guy. However, through his most recent video Yeah Right 2, and his vlogs on EGM Sucks, I can see that Eli has the ability to create an interesting aesthetic and a well shot sequence. I hope to see more work by JM Films on TV Filthy Frank 2, but I hope Eli also continues to push his own creative abilities on the channel. TV Filthy Frank 2 may have had some issues with various videos, but they are absolutely nothing compared to the problems that face Real Papa Franku. Previously known as just Filthy Frank, Real Papa Franku was my personal favourite clone at the time. However, the channel has been through so much. When all the Filthy Frank clones began to gain notoriety, Alex was expelled from his school for his videos. I've already made a video about this called Life of a Clone, but after being kicked out of school the problems didn't end there. The channel was permanently banned for creating the video Bathtub Cake. It wasn't particularly terrible, and I'm not sure which guideline it broke, but it was pretty strange. Therefore, they restarted on a channel called Real Damn Filthy. Now during this time, it became apparent that Alex was working with a second guy called Sol. Together they created all the clone content so far, but for some reason the two had a creative difference, and this resulted in the channel ending. Since then, both of them have gone on to create their own content. Alex has been creating videos on Chunder TV with a couple of his mates. He also creates music under the alias Treatment Kid. I'm actually a big fan of some of these tracks, and use them as background music for my videos. The other guy, who's called Sol, currently creates videos on Cameraman Chronicles, and entered into my recent video festival challenge. However, recently a channel has surfaced re-uploading old Real Papa Franku videos. It's called Real Papa Franku, but I'm sure it's the old Real Damn Filthy channel due to its channel creation date. Whether this signifies a return, or is just acting as an archive, time will tell. But regardless of what this means, it's good to see the two boys still active on YouTube. Finally, I wanted to talk about one more clone that I didn't mention in my original video. That clone is Filthy Frank's Sideshow. Sideshow is an interesting one because the man clearly loves what he does. Is he the best clone? Probably not. His filming doesn't look great, and he seems like a complete idiot, but I have huge respect for this man. While the other clones have stopped or upload relatively infrequently, Sideshow is there week in, week out. He clearly loves what he does, and is incredibly dedicated to creating really stupid content in the name of being a Filthy Frank clone. The man flex sealed his own asshole for 200 views. If you can't appreciate that level of commitment to art, however ridiculous and stupid that art is, then do you really appreciate art at all? This man is the pillar of the clone community today, and without him, the internet would be a much safer place. Thank you very much for watching my video on the Filthy Frank clones. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. There'll be links in the description to all the channels discussed today, as well as my Twitter, which you should definitely follow to keep up to date with everything I'm doing. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.